I was out and about yesterday selling my coaching service, and I had a big what if moment. And I hope that you have these as well. You know, the moments where what you're doing right now, you do it with all your heart, your mind, your soul, your strength, and then you come back later and you think about it, and it opens up a new possibility. So that's what happened to me yesterday. And the big what if that I have is, what if we took more responsibility as experience makers? What's an experience maker? In my mind, an experience maker is not just someone who is a talking head. It's not just someone who's delivering a message. It's not just someone who's trying to sell a product. We've all had that person, the pusher, the person who just wants you to follow because you should follow. I really don't think that person deserves very much. And I don't think that person, I think they're being lazy. Yesterday, as I was selling, I was out passing out these books. And I was simply going from one business to another, literally face to face, something I haven't done in a long time. I used to do it a lot when I was new in sales. My first training was, here's 100 flyers, go pass these out. And later on, I went through the ranks of being a salesperson, then I went through being a trainer, and I always thought, that is the laziest training in the whole world. But I'm rethinking that, because the truth of it is that training, go see 100 people a day, put a flyer in 100 people's hands per day, made me experience what was happening. It made me come up with what I should be saying. And rather than me receiving some sort of tactical, didactical script from somebody, do this, then that, then this, I had to learn. And because I learned that, I also learned to be unafraid of cold calling, of walking into businesses. I know it's not everyone's favorite modality. So fast forward to yesterday. Here I was. I'm like, well, let's just get out there. I have books. I've, stacks of books still to give away, just over there. And I decide, you know what? Let's just go out there, and I'm going to see if I can actually make people a little bit curious. And so all I did was go from one door to another, saying, hey, I'm Donnie Tuttle. I'm a local author and coach, and I am passing out my book. That's me on the back. I'm passing out my book to people with sales teams, and wanted to see who I would drop this off for. That's kind of the script that I was going off of. It's not the best. It's not the worst. I didn't come up with anything else to say. And within the book, you'll see that there is like this. You see that thing up on the top? That's it's not a real $100 bill. It's a fake one, but it looks real. And what would you do? It creates this spark, hopefully, a spark of joy, a spark of shock, spark of surprise. And I feel like if I can make someone feel something, the likelihood of them seeing me the way that I want to be seen, in a way that would be favorable, well, it's higher. It goes up. Once they pull on it, it actually has a QR code that they can scan, and that invites them into a little bit of, I wouldn't say a treasure hunt, but hey, here's why I stopped out, and I'm inviting you to bring me in for a workshop for a day or two, or for an hour, or whatever. And so that was the way that I went about yesterday. And again, if I were grading it on effort, my own effort or effectiveness, I would give it a C. Again, not the best, not the worst, doesn't matter. But it made me think about my past in sales, but also in my future in sales. I'm selling my service, but also it made me think about, I'm pursuing stages. I have a TEDx talk coming soon to a theater near you. I'm going to be speaking to more groups, and my goal is 500 live people per month, like face to face. And then, I don't know how many more I need to come up with, like an online goal. But as I'm looking at that, I don't want to create a, a talk. I don't want to have just a lecture that's one-sided, that people just listen to, consider, and walk away. It's like a cow would chew on the grass and walk away. I want to do something that causes people to think, that causes them to experience. And so I wouldn't say begins, but so I've turned the page this morning into saying, what if I really accepted that role of an experience maker? And just the same thing that I wanted to do where I was revolutionizing a speaking event, I could also do that same thing. Like, hey, here's my 18 minutes on stage, but it's not a speech, it's an experience. Then I'm thinking, what about the 45 seconds that I get in front of a sales manager or a front desk person? What if I made that an experience? Isn't an experience a thing that sets the stage for the next experience? It is. So what if I could create that moment of, I don't know if it's shock and awe or if it's just laughter. I haven't defined it yet. I've been experimenting in this for years. I've been experimenting in this. And I'm wondering how that might come into play for you. What if instead of a meeting one-on-one with someone, what if you decided you're going to make that an experience? What if instead of a meeting with your team, you were going to make it an experience where people didn't just listen to you talk, but they considered something. They walked away transformed because they had to grapple with something. You didn't let them sit there and lazily consume the information you brought to them. I think a lot of times, that's kind of where we go to. It's just too easy. It's too convenient to consume. But very rarely are we changed through consumption. I believe that we're changed when someone presents us something and they say, here you go, what are you going to do with it? And now we're presented with a choice, or we're presented with an option of being able to interact and to play with something. And so being the player rather than the spectator maybe is the idea here. But I just wanted to, I guess, frame that and challenge you that even as you're hearing this, don't take my word for it. My question to you is, what is it making you think right now? How did I change your passion for your job? What became available to you? Write that down. And maybe it's not something that's accessible, but sometimes just the exercise of stepping into thought opens up doors of things that are actually executable. I'll give you a couple of examples of things that I've done that have worked, that have been experiences in the past. And I'm looking forward to saying, man, how am I going to put that into my business in the future? As a school teacher, I would create experiences sometimes by turning off the lights, having various, music, sometimes setting the stage. There was one time I had these windows all in the room and I blacked them all out like the night sky. And we put cotton balls up into them in the form of the constellations. All my kids knew all of the constellations by the time they left my 5th grade science class. As a salesperson, I think I just did a lot of things badly for a while. But at one point, I went into business for myself with something. And what I did, the way I promoted my business was I bought an Elvis Presley costume because I saw it on sale at the Halloween store. And it was like real deal. It looked like real deal. Got an Elvis wig costume. You can even, I think if you Google Elvis business rock star Donnie Tuttle, you'll find there's still a video commercial of me floating around. I got 95% of all people that I stopped into dressed like that to go to my website. 95%. So I created an experience. Now, I don't think my website was a good experience, but I do think that I was able to get them intrigued enough to where they were willing to step into, a mouse click. And just think about how many people today they don't even give you that. When I have clients, I love to send them things of achievement of like, hey, you are a person of vision, or you're a person of direction, or just things that go into their physical space that remind them and of me. And those things have been really, really, really good. Tangibly connects you to another people. Those are ways I've been an experience maker in the past. And really, I think my plan is to step more into that. And so if you're someone who plans on bringing in a speaker, but you don't just want a speaker, you want an experience, I might be your guy. And even as fires ablaze and children scream, I'm here for you. And I just wanted to challenge you, maybe come along with me. And how can you live into your version of being an experience maker? Until next time, we'll catch you on the flip side.